Hello, welcome to this. Hello, all of our friendly faces in chat there. I'm going to throw this on the screen. Look at that. We don't see all your faces, but hello, everybody. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be just kind of playing with Open Graph. And so the place that we're doing all that stuff is kind of meta, but it's our, the best place to learn is this events.lunch.dev. We've been just kind of, the goal of this has just been kind of building it out in public. So it's publicly available, but then also we're just kind of adding to it as we have a chance to do so. So we did this event yesterday. Today is this one that we're doing today. And the goal is to add some Open Graph tags. So there's actually, and specifically for Twitter, because that's where a lot of the kind of like promotion for these types of things happen. So we'll add the generic Open Graph tags and then maybe some Twitter ones where we need to. So Twitter actually has a lot of stuff for their, I think they're called like social cards, whatever. They have a lot of documentation. So we're going to find that real quick. And it's actually at the Twitter Apex. So there we go. Okay, cool. So it's what developer.twitter.com, and then you can just, I think, search for social card probably, or cards maybe, and then that should come up, except it doesn't. So I guess just Google it. Google's a better better place to get it. Okay, about cards. So in this document, they have a couple things. So I've been looking at this a little bit for I've been slowly but surely adding Open Graph tags to chan.dev. And so I wanted to show you how the validator works. They have a validator where you can preview stuff. So open that up. And basically, you just give it a public URL. Fortunately, because we're using Netlify, we'll be able to have public URLs for all of our previews when we make pull requests and whatnot. So I'm going to post this one in. It will tell you like how many meta tags that it found, if there were any errors, and then it will give you a preview. Now I want to show you, so I only just recently added like an image here. So now it's doing a preview image and then whatnot. This is just the top level, so I don't have any meta tags for that. But if I go to like this one, I actually added a couple extra, and so it's going to show a big preview card for this, just based on the tags that I used. So we'll hopefully get into all of that in our time today. If not, we'll at least cover the ones that are about the kind of like setting up a document so you get some kind of preview with the like title of the thing and then the description. Cool. So we'll leave that open for now. And then right now, we'll actually just kind of like see what we're getting right now. So probably nothing. Oh, wait, not that one. Events. Okay, unable to read card preview. So it has 3 meta tags, but there were no card meta tags. So Twitter doesn't yet know how to render this as a card preview. So we're just going to add some of the, I guess, like most basic ones that we need for an article. I guess, like, I think, and this would be a good chance for anyone to jump in with questions or like thoughts on this, because my thinking right now is probably just, since this is events, we would do the title, and then maybe we would probably have to think about how we're going to handle a description and whatnot. Okay, so first of all, we have our event.html. Let me know if that's not an appropriate size. It should be fairly visible. And then yeah, we'll just try to see how much of this we can get in before an hour's over. So now I think first and foremost, there's the matter of title and description, which we'll do first. And if there's anything, also, don't have like a preview of chat necessarily. So if there's anything in there, if someone could like shout out, um, actually, I can do it like this. But yeah, shout out if there's anything. Thanks for the link, Ben. Okay, cool. So one of the first things we need to do is add the title. So we already have a title in here. I'm not totally sure about like the best way to handle this for Twitter, because Twitter does have some. Let's go back to that site. Twitter does fall back to the Open Graph meta tags, but it's kind of unclear like if you get any extra benefit out of using theirs specifically. So I guess let's start with like kind of like the minimum viable. Let's see, card markup is probably what we want. Yes. Okay, cool. So this actually shows the mapping of the Twitter meta tags to the Open Graph ones. Okay, so I think we'll probably start with these two, title and description. Now, the way these work is that we just provide them as meta tags, and those have a property and a content. I think they're self-closing, if I remember correctly. Now, the property is going to be the tag that we want. So this will be OG title. And then the content will be whatever's supposed to fill that space. So I am going to just take what we have inside here and then duplicate that. It looks like we don't have any escaping issues, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to do that again for the OG description. And I don't know if we actually have a description set up yet.
I don't think we do. I tried to keep stuff as pretty minimal as
Yeah,
possible,
totally.
so that we could spend some time over a mob job
Yeah,
adding that stuff.
love it, love it. Yeah, I think that's great. So I guess let's see what wouldn't be needed. Whoops. Okay, so we wouldn't need the like lunch.dev community calendar. I'm curious, what would be the best place, do you think, for the date of this event? Because that's actually a pretty critical part of information in terms of like how we would want this to present in a card. Would that be like description, or should we put that in the title? What are we thinking?
I think description would be a great place for that, at
Okay,
least for now.
Yeah, I
cool.
was going to say in the description in a condensed format.
Okay. I'm curious, this type, what is that, Ben? I've totally forgotten.
So that should be declared
Oh,
in the front matter of
that's
the event.
right.
So, if you're unfamiliar with kind of the way 11T works, 11T, you declare what are called templates. Templates are your content files. So templates are like your markdown like events, and you declare layouts, which are the like HTML wrappers, the shells that your content goes into. And as you declare both of these, you can put a whole bunch of data in a whole bunch of places, and 11T uses a flow called the data cascade to aggregate all that data together, so that when it puts your content in your layouts, you can inject data. We're injecting data every time you see the handlebars syntax, the curly braces, whatever you want to call it. We're injecting data from the cascade. One place in the cascade that you can get data from is the front matter. This is when we pull up a markdown file. This is the YAML block that you see at the top of the file. So you can see that we're declaring these properties like title, talk, date, and speakers. Those exist in our layouts as variables that we can consume.
Gotcha. Yep. So what we're doing here is, so in our front matter of our document, we have this, and I had forgotten, we added a type, which is showing up. What is it? Let's pull this up. So it's like the type of event that we're doing, and we pull those in right here. So like this today is mob job, and then next week Ben's giving a talk, episode party, etc. Cool. Thanks for the clarification, Ben.
No problem.
So yeah, and then that is just a conditional, right? So we have if there's a type, so there may not be, but if there is one, then we do this like comma, and then we interpolate the type value out. However, we always expect a title, so we don't do that one. Okay, cool. So I think that probably, maybe for now, let's just do the date in the description, and then we can flesh out the rest later. Maybe we can say like if there's a description, put that description in there. But yeah, I think the date is probably the most important part of that for now. We can always tailor this a little bit better, and then we should probably add a just description tag while we're in here, or I guess a description meta tag, because there's no like actual description tag. And I think it's property description, but I just want to verify that first. Let's see, head, meta, name, description, content, whatever the description is. Cool, perfect. Whoops, backwards. And then we'll do another one of those conditionals. So percent if description. Close this. We'll interpolate out that value. And then an end if I can type. Okay, so right now we have the title and description up. So I think that's probably good enough to start. Let's pick up a server. Whoop. Is that right? Oh, it's dev. There we go. Visit localhost 8080. There's so many of these. Does anyone have any trouble kind of like remembering these from project to project?
Always. I've considered writing myself a script that'll try to like enumerate through the options.
And just find the first one that doesn't fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can always, if I use the right tool, I can just command click it. Though it does seem to be pissed.
It might be going to the wrong port.
Let's see. I'm gonna copy and paste it and see how that works. Oh wait, TTP. Okay. Localhost 8080. This is not something that I expected to have trouble with this morning.
Try the external link. The 192.168.
Wait, this one?
Yeah, just the second one there.
Oh, gotcha.
Not that one,
Gotcha.
but
Gotcha.
I mean the
Open.
Don't know why 11D's on the struggle bus today.
Yeah, it might be because I mean, I don't know. I'm just theorizing, but like I'm plugged in to a switch right now. I don't know if that's screwing things up. That shouldn't have any effect. Let's try it again. I can also try this from my terminal to see if it's logging.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe I was just
There we go.
Is that better? Is that better?
Maybe.
Let's
I
see.
saw a bunch of logs.
We had logs happen. Okay, cool. So that's the browser sync.
Yep.
And then 88. There we go. Okay, cool. We're back in it. In it to win it. I bet that there's probably some plugin that would allow me to do local development on these. I'm not necessarily willing to take the time to look at that, but that would be kind of cool. So let's see. So we're doing this guy right here. Open that up, make sure everything's coming through the way we expect, at least on this side. And we got title, description. We don't have a description. Let's put a description in just in case. We got our long date. We're hoping to do another one of these on kind of like date formatting and templates. So we'll probably save that. Let's see. Let me add a description to one of these posts. Let's just do the one we're working on today. So let's see, what should this description be?
Probably fine to use like the first line of there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Just copy paste that.
Cool.
Or trim it down.
Yeah. That seems good enough. Woo! Logs. Okay, cool. So that's coming through, and it's coming through in both places. That comma is probably not ideal. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so that's about as good as we want it to be right now. I'm going to commit that. I'm actually even going to try and use this. Ooh. VS Code, GitHub. Okay. Okay, we'll just add this. Actually, let me get a branch going. Add. Okay. I lied. I'm just going to do what I know. Add title and description to event.html. Husky runs, making everything tidy and nice. Push our branch up. Okay, and I've been trying this thing. Let's see if it works on this. I might have to do some additional setup. Actually, let's see. PR create. Yeah, it doesn't like me. Okay, so let's go over to GitHub. Oh, I had it. Okay. So we have our branch right here. Add social cards right here. Let's open up a pull request. We're all here together, so I won't spend too much time on a description or nothing. Now, that is going to spin off all of our stuff on 11T. So once we get here, we can open up that URL in our social card or our Twitter card validator. See how it goes. Woo, so cool to see that happen. Preview ready. So we get our kind of, wild URL here. And let's go to this page specifically. Aww. 6 meta tags were found, but no card found. I wish it give us more information than that. So I think this is the point where we start to have to add some Twitter Open Graph tags. Let's see if... So our description's working, because if we go to events.launch.dev, I don't think we have a description there. Oh, no, never mind. How is that working, do you think? Because we didn't have in the event template a description, unless I looked over it. Oh, it's just the title. Sorry. I don't know why I was thinking that should be the description. All right, so let's go back to our Twitter documentation. Now it's saying that it would pull this, but we need to actually, I think, add some Twitter card information is the problem. So this is used for the summary, large image, and player cards. I think these are the two that we are most interested in. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is that kind of small size that we saw where you have like on one side is the kind of small image preview and then the description and whatnot. So let's start with that and see where we get. Okay, what is the property here? Hold on, I'm going to jump over to, I was just doing this on my site as well. Okay, so there's a Twitter. So, and I have mine where like I can like actually control the open graph tags. We're going to kind of not do that right now, but it looks like it's card, and then that's where you put summary or large image summary. So let's look for that. Twitter card. Okay, there we go. So it looks like this also does open graph type. If an OG type, OG title, and OG description exist on the markup, but Twitter card is absent and the summary card may be rendered. Okay. Why don't we do type, because that's an OG one. See if we can find description on what that should be. So, OG type. The type of an object, e.g. video.movie, depending on the type you specify, other properties may also be required. So we have OG type, content website. The community agrees on a schema for type. It's added to the list of global types, all the object types, systems. Okay. Let's go there. Oh, interesting. So this gets super advanced. Okay, so far I'm only seeing music, video, no vertical. So this would be article, book, profile, website. Well, these are events. I kind of see them as maybe being article. Be curious for people to jump in and see if there's objections or different thoughts to that. This is interesting that there's all these additional things that you can place in there, like tags and whatnot. Author, any. I think this probably makes sense, given the fact that we have like kind of like published at, modified, expired, author, all that kind of stuff. So let's go with that and see if that gets us what we want. So it'll be OG type. And this doesn't need all that. It's just going to be article. Okay, let's commit this up. I'm just hoping to put like the minimal viable change set to actually like get anything going up there. Okay, get. Oh nope. Add OG type article to .html. Ben, did you get your sandwich?
You know I did.
Oh yeah, delicious.
Always.
What type of sandwich?
I got me a club wrap from for those of us in the Dallas area, I guess, McAllister's.
I was gonna suggest a club. Club's my favorite. We have a place around here that does like just the perfect club.
Yeah, I mean, I had never heard of McAllister's. I know we have Jason's Deli and Panera, what the basic ones.
I'm so into a mayonnaise heavy sandwich. Like
I never understood. Like, I didn't used to like mayonnaise, but then I had a job at Publix and I worked in the deli, and everybody and their mother got mayonnaise on their sandwich, and it just took 1 month, and I was like, okay, what the hell is up with this thing? Like, am I the only person on this planet that doesn't like mayonnaise? So I tried it one time, and I was like, it was a gradual understanding, and then by the time I was done with Publix, mayonnaise was on my sandwich every single time.
Oh, totally. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think you're right. It is kind of like an acquired taste, as far as condiments go. But I feel like it can go a lot of places where like you wouldn't want to just, you want to lubricate your sandwich up, but you don't want to like slather it with like ketchup. Like who wants all that sugar on your sandwich? It's disgusting.
So I'm from Florida, and Publix subs. That's the only thing I miss in California is a Publix sub.
Publix subs are the best. Oh yeah, I always forget Publix is kind of like
East
I don't know
Coast.
how far branches out, but yeah, East Coast.
Dude, I had a regimen. My brother still lives in northern Florida, and I would get sub dressing, and you put that on the bread first, and then you mayo on top, and then you get the
Yep.
Italian with salt and pepper.
I mean, that's what I was known for, is the sandwiches side of things. I wanted to open up my own shop like called Mike's Melts, because I just melted cheese on every sandwich.
Yes.
It was like a
Yes.
ghetto Firehouse Subs.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah,
I have
Publix subs, they can't be beaten.
I've never been to a Publix. Isn't that sad?
It's worth it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to find one. There's this every once in a
It's
while.
like our Vons,
Okay.
except maybe it's a little bit more pricey than Vons.
Okay.
Because it's like an employee-owned business, but overall their sandwiches it's worth the trip just for sandwiches.
Okay. So we have to with my daughter, we end up having to take her up to LA to see a specialist every once in a while, and we almost always try to go to this place called Wax Paper. Dude, this place makes, I mean, they're like bougie as hell sandwiches, but like, oh my gosh, their sandwiches are ridiculous. One of them's basically just like, it's like a baguette with butter and a little bit of like ham on there, and it's perfect.
That background image has me sold. Is that like a hot dog over to the right? Is that like a
I
bougie
think
hot
so.
dog
Yeah,
looking?
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
a really fancy, bougie hot dog.
It looks like it's got escargot on it or something. That's for rich folk. Jeez.
Like I said, it's just, every couple months when we go up there, it's the place to be.
I'm interested by that name, wax paper. If somebody said, "Hey, let's go to wax paper," I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, are we?
Let's see if they have any pictures. No pictures? Come on. Dude, the sandwich is about a picture. Come on. I want to see that. I want to see that cross section. Anyway, we got this thing working. So we got all we had to do was we added the title, we added the description, we did those with generic Open Graph tags, and then also we added the I mean, this isn't pretty to look at yet. It will be once we start formatting dates. But we got it up. It can successfully load this as a card, which is awesome. So yeah, Twitter card summary tags found. Card loaded successfully. Boom. So I'm curious from this point, should we try to tackle, we have about like, I don't know, like 20 minutes ish left. Should we try to do you want to try to tackle, like the image? Cause I feel like the other parts are really more like finessing, but if we tackle the image, that's kind of like the third big chunk of this. If you want to do it.
Let's see if we can tackle an image.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. I'm going to open something off screen real quick so I can navigate away from my dashboard. So the way that I'm starting to do this is to use Cloudinary. I think that there's a way that we could do it using web technologies and Puppeteer probably. But I figured this was the easiest kind of, use that Jamstack approach where, you just depend on a service until it's too expensive to not, or it's too expensive to continue doing it.
Are we just going to have one generic image for each of these cards?
Yeah. So sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, is it just going to be one generic image, or since it's more of like, as an individual article item, is it they're going to be like a unique image for each?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of use Cloudinary to start, is because Cloudinary is like an image processing tool. It's pretty wild, actually. So what I've done on my account, and we'll use this for today, is I've added just a white backdrop or a white image kind of in the kind of general dimensions of what these Twitter cards need to be. So I just Googled it. I think there's a lot of competing information, but one of the sites suggested that it needs to be in a close to, it's like a 1.91 to 1 ratio. And so they suggested 800 by 418. So that's what this is. It is literally just white pixels, like a white rectangle. So now the cool thing with Cloudinary, if you've never used it, is, and I've only barely used it a little bit, is that we can, so this is our white image, and we can add, let's see, so I need to go to transform. They have a bunch of overlay techniques that we can use to write content over the image. So I'm going to add an overlay, and they have a whole API for this, but it's just going to be text. And we're going to do lunch.dev. I might need to URL encode that. Whoops. Oh, nope. I don't need to put the L. It's already prefixing it with the L. Okay, so URL encode. It's like 2DE or something like that, I think. Okay, let's just get a word up there first. Why is this not working? Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look at ones that I did before. Again, this is new for me. Let's edit a previously existing transform that I have. This is so wild. I apologize that this is not working as it should. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. So I think it's possible that I needed to provide like the additional color information, but basically the way this all works is that it will overlay something on top. You can pass in text and instructions on how to manipulate that text via URL. So for every event or article or whatever that we want to like produce, we can just pass that in as a URL. It's going to kind of like the first time it's going to dynamically create the image, and then it's just going to have that image cached for like subsequent requests. Now there's, I mean, obviously a cost involved in this. I think the free tier that they have is like hardly anything at all, so we shouldn't bump up against that. But there are tools also to kind of like make that as part of your build. So basically, you only you do that in the build step, and then actually just put that in like static or whatever, and then reference them all locally. So, but for now, there's not going to be enough traffic where this is going to be a problem. The cool thing is like so this is our tag, and if we go through this piece by piece, we're using the Roboto. What is it? We're using the Roboto font at like the size of 100 pixels on this image. We're boldening it, and it's the text lunch.dev. And then there's some different things that you can do. So if I can add some like padding to the left or right of this thing, and it'll kind of move it over and whatnot. That's a lot. So we're just going to stick with that. Okay. So I don't know why it keeps adding it onto sample, which is not the image that I want. So I'm going to copy this, go back to my media library, go here, manage, transform. Let's see if I can paste that in here and if it works. There we go. Okay, so we'll just set this up as a default for now, just so we can have an image and we can figure out how to make it enact that like big summary page. So here we go. So it's that image, the white Twitter card with these extra properties in front of it, and we'll just copy that. Has anyone else used Cloudinary or like kind of like a similar service?
I've used it for some client work before.
Nice.
Again, for the free tier on a site that gets almost no visitors.
Totally.
Heard of it a few times, never actually used it though.
Yeah, it's an interesting product for sure. The whole like URL thing is pretty wild. So OG image, and I think there's also an image alt tag, which I'd like to get in there. So again, for right now, what we're working on is just going to be, this is just going to be providing a default, this default fallback. Now I'm going to do this one step at a time. Let's do this again. So image OG type image alt. Just want to make sure I get the right property in there. Okay, description. what is in the image, not a caption. Okay, so if it specifies an image, it should also specify an alt. Okay. Content. I mean, I guess if it's describing the image, it's just going to be a
Right
white.
now, it would probably just be lunch.dev,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah. I guess if there was like a you know, a picture, like if there was like a group photo, you'd probably want to say like, you know, group photo next to the text lunch.dev or something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's save that. So we have our image tag, which is going to go up here. And then we have our alt there. OG image and OG image alt to event.html. Cool. We'll get a preview for that in a second. And then before, like while we're kind of waiting for that, I'm going to do one more thing, which is these summary things. So there's this concept of summary large image, which gives you that like kind of like big image on top of the thing. Now, right now, we're not actually taking advantage of that, but we'd like to have kind of like some type of like a dynamically generated title and description, or date in this case, inside of that image, because that'll be the first thing that like people see. So let's do that. I think that we placed that in Twitter card, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's also a bunch of other stuff like Twitter site for your username and all that kind of stuff, which we will, you know, maybe get to it another time. Okay, so let me make sure. Twitter summary image. I'm gonna see if, I don't know, anyone else has any direction on this, but I'm pretty sure it's card. I'm like always Googling and landing on just random ass pages.
Do the exact same.
Just keep Googling until it works, right?
Yeah, it works eventually.
Okay, yeah, so it's Twitter card is going to be the property, and then, or is that right? So the Twitter card property allows you to choose the size of your image. Using property summary gives you a smaller image. Description using the property summary image large. Okay. Is that the property or the content though?
I feel like they might have misspoken here. I
Yeah.
feel like that should be content equals summary image large.
Totally. I think that's what I'm feeling too. Okay, so let's do that. So property is going to be, whoops, Twitter card. I'm going to default to summary large image, just because even when you don't have an image, if you use summary large image, if you don't have an image, it's going to fall back to the summary. So this kind of feels like a sane default, provided that it falls back. Okay, let's add this in. To event.html. I guess I don't need to specify which file. That's all shows up in Git anyway, but whatever. Okay. While that's doing its thing, let's reload this. Whoops. on the previous build. Oh, shoot. No, we wanted... Crap. Oh, never mind. We're going to have to wait for the whole thing. I was hoping to see like each incremental step, but I think we're going to see the large one after we get this preview. Now, while we're kind of like, I guess, waiting for this preview, I think one thing that we'll need to, let's look at the Cloudinary API. So I think this is their upload API. So this is the transformation URL API reference. Actually, this is what you want. So they have so many things in here. It's like angle, audio frequency, like, you know, so they have stuff for audio files, for video files. And then I think for text, let's see. Oops. You can set, so in our case, what we'll probably want to do is we'll want to, like as a next step, we'll probably want to set up regions and have the text kind of fit ideally inside of certain regions. So like right now, I'm just plopping it out on the center of the canvas, but you can set up a region like from this pixel area to this pixel area is where this text is going to sit. And then below that, we'll have another one where like tags would sit, etc. But we would use this API to actually set those regions for where those texts, where we want that text to line up. Details. Moment of truth. Hey, there we go. So we found page fetched successfully. We have 11 meta tags were found. It can render as a Twitter card, all that stuff. It found our little summary large image tag. So it loaded successfully. Now this isn't much to look at, but the beautiful thing is that we have all of the pieces in place so that we can now adjust this. Now again, just what we can do, so just to I guess like kind of put some meat on this, the idea is like, because so we have lunch.dev here, right? But there's nothing preventing us from doing this and taking some of the content that we have and making this title, or, you know, putting the date. Now obviously that takes a little bit more like design because we're gonna have to like set up regions and whatnot, but now that we have this in place, it's all more possible to do. So yeah, I think that's probably good. I think we're right about under that hour right now. Any questions at this point, or kind of like last couple minute experiments anybody wants to do?
I just want to tell you that you're doing great.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. You know, I'm proud of you. You're doing good work over here.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was fun. I mean, this is all like, I didn't really, I mean, I was just exploring the Cloudinary stuff last night. So this is all new stuff for me. I had kind of struggled through some of the card stuff earlier on my 11D site. But it's nice kind of now knowing like the bare minimum. I had ended up just like kind of copy and pasting it from someone else's site. So knowing the bare minimum of what it would take to actually get that to show up on Twitter is pretty cool. Well, hey, let's wrap up for today. Thanks all for being here. Dan, it's good to see your face. Thanks for cameraing up.
This was great. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks. It's fun to have you here.
All right,
Yeah.
y'all have a great afternoon.
Yeah.
Thanks for hosting this as always. These are so much fun. It's a nice little break for the day, you know?
Totally. It's nice for me too. It's like, oh, I get to work on something fun instead of the same old.
Yep.
Agreed.
Cool. Well, hey, we'll see you. I'll see you in Discord. Peace. Thanks for being here.